Good evening, everyone. My name's John. This is Old Folks Boogie 2, my channel, and this is my 15 minutes that I do every day. Not usually in the evening, but there's no real reason for that particular time. If this worked, I tried something new. I just discovered this. I don't know if anybody remembers or if anybody. I'm filming this using a Nikon P610, which is a long zoom point and shoot, really nice camera, and then it does 1080 video as well. Well, the instructions on this thing are so minuscule on how to operate it in video mode because it's just not something they expect you to do, I guess, or when it was built. Anyway, if you noticed, I ran about 10 seconds of the picture of the day behind me in a close-up, or as close as I could get. It was hard to frame it. And then paused it and pulled back the lens and reframed for me. And that's something I had never done before, didn't know I could do until just a little bit ago. Because this is really a beautiful picture. This is, I think this was one of the ones that I took down that was taken by the Hubble Space Telescope. I don't know where it is. It may be I don't have any idea. It could be the Magellanic Cloud. I don't know. It's some nebula somewhere probably. But it's beautiful, whatever it is. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous picture. And so I tried something different. I thought I would share it somehow. Try to start out with a close-up shot just for 10 seconds or so. If you want to go back and take a closer look at the picture, maybe that'll help. And then pause it, reframe it, and restart it and step back in again. That way, yes, I am doing a little editing on the fly. but it's just a couple button pushes, that's all. Not a whole lot of editing going on here. Anyway, today is one of my favorite people, and probably yours too, people in the whole world, Betty White. It is her 98th birthday today. Oh, more power to her. Oh, goodness. Susan and I, my wife, for those of you just joining this vlog, podcast, I don't even know what you call it, but if you're just joining me for the first time, Susan is my wife, and she and I were just talking about it, and we're hoping she'll make the big 100, make the 100. You know, people get close, but it's hard to get over that hump and hit that 100. I think Betty can do it. I mean, she's an amazing, amazing person. I mean, come on. She's had a career longer than most of us have been alive. I mean, she was 28 years old and working when I was born. And I'm 70 years old. God, think about that. That is just completely amazing. So I'm 70 and she's still alive. And that is even more amazing. Actually, it's amazing that I'm alive too, but even more amazing for her. But more power to her. I believe, we were rooting for George Burns. I was a big fan of George Burns. Loved his sense of humor, loved everything about the man. You younger viewers, if there ever are any of you, go look him up. He was a phenom of his time, and he was terrific. But sadly, he just scraped the edge of it, just like so many others. I won't even come close personally. I'd be lucky to make 85. 83 is what I'm supposed to make. I should be lucky to make that, but don't know. Don't know. Not there yet. But thank goodness for Betty White and others. People who continue to show what it's like to age and age well. Because she has aged well. And I don't mean her looks or anything, the physical part of it. Yeah, she's done that well too, but the fact is that she's kept her mind. That's the most important thing. It seems the hardest to do as we get older. and older, it's the hardest thing to hold on to is what piece of yourself you have got. Whew. So yeah, we none of us know what's coming. Maybe someday somebody will. Maybe they'll decode the DNA sequence enough to understand what brings on Alzheimer's, what brings on dementia, what brings on any of these things that we deal with as we age. It probably no, it won't happen in my lifetime. I'm probably benefiting somewhat from the research that's been done previously, but nothing that they've discovered that's going to keep me, alive another 150 years or anything. You know what I mean? There's no life-saving, life-changing, even on the horizon. Not even close. There's nothing that the medical community that I'm aware of. And I watch out there. If something was really hot, it would be breaking. But nobody is on the verge of any kind of breakthrough that's going to see human beings double their longevity in no time flat. That isn't going to happen. And it might happen in somebody's lifetime. I hope it does, because it'd be a lot more fun to live longer and have a good life to go along with it. But we'll see what happens. Well, somebody will see what happens. I should, because not we. Maybe my kid, maybe my kids' kids, if they have any. Maybe, I don't know. In the 25th century, 26th century, it's a long way off. But it's such a short way back. When you go backwards, it's going backwards is, it was only, goodness gracious, not even 200 years ago that it'll be 200 years ago, at the middle of this century, that the Civil War happened. Just 200 years back. 150 if you want to, get somewhat technical about it. But still, in 150 years, we've gone from a civil war in this country, slave owners fighting people who didn't want slaves and didn't believe that people should be held as slaves, and still don't believe that people should be held as slaves. But that's only 150 years ago. A drop in the bucket of human time, just a drop. And a minuscule atom in the bucket of Earth time. But still, 150 years. Look what happened in 150 years. I mean, really, you could look at it like from the caveman to the Civil War was one era, and from the Civil War to now is another. Because the progress over the 150 years, in terms of how much of it there has been and what we have discovered and what we've learned and all the things that we're capable of doing now, technology and all the rest of it that goes with it, everything, all of that in 150 years. Betty White was 98. People had just started flying when she was born. Just started. It wasn't really even a commercial prospect yet. She was born into the era of flying, the start of the era of flying. And now we're flying everywhere. It's it's pretty amazing. I mean, I'm not the first person to notice this by any stretch of the imagination. I've read about it. I've talked about it with other people. It is an amazing thing. I mean, I guess I had probably said this before. I wish I was going to be alive a lot longer, or I had been born a lot later than I had been. Maybe another 200, 300 years from now is what I really want. I want to be, I want to be in the 25th century, or even the 30th century. I want to be out there. I want to see what the technology does to us. Well, do we survive? That's the first thing. Do we grab the technology? Do we learn how to, beat this planet into submission, or beat ourselves into submission for the planet? I don't know which one it's going to be. I don't think we can beat ourselves into submission because, the people that want that are probably not even 5% of the world's population. So, in the voting scheme, it's just not looking good. There's no leader out there that's, going after that sort of change, the necessary to generate all the, that they want to change the greenhouse gas. There's nobody, there's no leader on that I can see that I've looked for that could possibly point us in that direction and show us how to get to the end of the road too. Because we just don't have the will for it in this world. Not just this country, we don't have the will for it in the world. China, Russia, these guys, they care less about pollution and more about, domination. They don't care how the earth survives. They don't care at all. What they care about is whether they can somehow or another over the course of time become the people that gather humanity under the one thumb. I mean, again, all future thoughts, but my thinking, and it's particularly my way of thinking, is that the human condition is such that we can't help but try to dominate each other. Nobody wants to be harmoniously involved with their next door neighbor. They either want to be screwing them or they want to be screwing them. So, all you can do is sit back and watch. At least that's for me. That's all I can do. I don't know what else there is. But congratulations to Betty White, and congratulations to anybody that's getting on to the 100-year mark. I applaud anybody and everybody that gets there. No two ways about it. It takes perseverance and it takes luck, but it takes really good genes. No two ways around it. You definitely better have something in your background that says, "Oh, yeah, this is something. Yeah, that would be okay. I could. My body is evolved because of the genetic background I've got. Now that's not me, of course, but there are people out there. I know people whose parents were old when they passed, and the people that I know whose parents were old when they passed are old themselves now, my age and older. So, and only lost their parents, maybe a decade back or something like that. So the parents were in the not late 90s, maybe 100, 101 sometime. I don't know a lot of people, but it's not as uncommon as it was by any stretch of the imagination. But it is also a hard thing to get to, getting that century mark. And thinking about what it means to be that old, what you have seen in that years. If you were born in the 1700s and lived to the 1800s, it would have been considered a miracle. I mean, really, if you had made 100 years back then, it would have been a miracle. But you wouldn't have seen much change in anything. But this last 100 years, and the 100 and the 50 before that even, insane. Just crazy with the amount of growth and where it's taken us. So, that's it for the night, I guess. That's the last thought I'm going to have because it's time to sign off, say goodnight. And thanks for listening if you did and watching. And so take care, good night, take care of each other.